Yo, it's me, your boy, Shonen Boy here today. I'm here today to read the latest chapter of One Piece, chapter 1045. So let's get straight into this video. So I'm gonna be reading the scans of the latest chapter of One Piece. I will be reading the official release when it comes out on Monday. And I'll be doing a discussion video on the chapter when it comes out. But my scheduling is a little bit, I have work on Monday really early in the morning and I don't get back until the evening, so I wanted to do it now to get it out of the way so I don't have to bother with it when I get home from work, because I don't really know if I really want to do it after work, so who knows. But the scans are out and I read the chapter already for this review, and oh my god, this chapter is amazing. Not as amazing as last week's chapter. That chapter was, like my favorite chapter of all of One Piece. But this chapter is, I'm pretty sure an 8.5 or a 9 out of 10. It is a great chapter, and we get to see Luffy on the front cover of Shonen Jump, which is really cool. I don't know if this is done by Oda, but it looks really, really good. And then we get to see a color spread of all of the Straw Hats, and they're in some type of party bus, and everyone's sort of popping out of the screen and everything like that, and it's to commemorate the 25th anniversary of the One Piece manga, and they're doing these trucks that will go around probably Japan, and they will probably give out merchandise or food or plushies or something like that, and they're doing it in celebration of the 25th anniversary of One Piece. The actual date is in July sometime, and that's right around my birthday. I know that it's I think it's 2 days after my birthday. 2 days after my birthday, the One Piece has its anniversary, which was really cool. But yeah. So that is the color spread, and it looks really nice, and yeah. So let's move on to the first page of the manga, and Luffy has gained his new ability, his Gear 5, and he's now jumping around, and he's making the ground sort of rubbery and everything like that. And Kaido is explaining to Luffy, since you have you've awakened your ability like a paramecia, you can manipulate the ground at your will to turn it into rubber. And while Kaido is talking to Luffy, he doesn't really explain how the Luffy's fruit sort of works or anything like that. He just notes that this power up that Luffy has gained is a little bit weird because it's like a paramecia, but it's also like a Zoan. So I think when it comes to Luffy, he's like both of those. He's got a Zoan. He's got a mythical Zoan fruit, but it has the properties and the implications of a paramecia. And I think that when it comes to his forms, his Zoan forms, I think that is his Gear 2nd, Gear 3rd, and Gear 4th. That's his sort of transformations throughout the Zoan power. But it's like a paramecia. So yeah, and that's why Kaido's a bit taken aback by this. He's like, this is like a paramecia, but it's also like a Zoan type ability where paramecias can manipulate the ground and do all that sort of stuff. But Luffy changes his whole body changes, and he goes through a full-on transformation and everything like that. Then when Kaido just grabs Luffy with his jaw and sort of bites down on Luffy, and Luffy pumps himself up to hold Kaido's mouth open, and he swallows Luffy. He actually swallows Luffy, and then he goes through his body, and Kaido's just like he's like all of his body just sort of contorts and starts like, you know, having like a fucking seizure and everything like that, and it's actually kind of funny. And you can see like little legs popping out of like Kaido's body and shit, and then Luffy uses Gama Gama no balloon and he blows himself up with you know, Kaido's body, and you can see his arms and his little legs popping out of Kaido's body. It's so funny. Honestly, it's so funny. Like, only in One Piece will you see someone swallow someone and the main character blows himself up and comes out of like the main villain's like skin. And it's just like only in One Piece where you would see this goofy ass shit. But anyways, moving on. So then Kaido starts rising into the air and Yamato is like looking up because Momonosuke and Yamato are sort of looking at the roof right now, and they're like observing the battle, and they're just like, what the fuck is going on? Is this like, you know, one of Kaido's new moves? And Yamato's like, he's really put on some weight. like my father's really put on some weight, like, you know. And Kaido's like, what are you doing? Like, how are you making me float? I'm not made of rubber. That's your thing. It's like, how are you making me weightless? It's like, what the fuck? And then while Luffy's in Kaido's body, he sees two bright lights and he shoots his actual arms out of Kaido's eyes, and he grabs his nose, and I'm just like, yo, what the fuck, bro? Like, it's like, what the hell am I reading? Seriously, like, this is some cartoon, you know, Bugs Bunny type of shit. Like, what is this, bruh? And like, he, you know, goes out of like, you know, Kaido's eyes and he grabs his nose, and then Kaido sort of spits him out like, what the fuck you doing? Like, he just spits him out. And then here comes my favorite part of the chapter, favorite part, where Luffy releases all of the air in his body and he shoots up into the clouds, and the clouds part and he turns into giant Luffy. Now, this has been theorized for a very, very long time that Luffy was going to change into this, like, you know, giant Luffy, because ever since, like, Gear 3rd was, like, you know, first shown, where he's blowing into his body and, like, he can make his arms big and everything like that, and people thought, well, why doesn't he just change his whole entire body into this giant Luffy? And it's just like, here it is, like, giant Luffy is real, and oh my god, that is amazing. And it's my favorite, like, you know, artwork that Oda has done, and it looks so cool. And I just want Luffy to now go to Elbath and fight a giant one-on-one with his new giant form. That'd be cool. Like, honestly, I want to see him, you know, fight a like actual, like, you know, giant one-on-one with this new form. That would be so cool. And just seeing like these two titans just battling it out, and it would be so cool to see. It would be so cool. But then Kaido is just like, he's not shocked by this. Like, he is sort of shocked by this a little bit, but like, he's not taken aback so much that he can't figure out what to do next. So Kaido sort of like, you're a bigger target now, so he basically goes around Luffy and bites him on the neck, and Luffy's like, ow, what the fuck? And he sort of goes out of the, he doesn't go out of the form. He grabs Kaido's, like, head, and then he starts using him as a jumping skip, like a tight rope. Like, he basically does a jump rope and starts using Kaido as, like, a jumping skip. And it's like, bruh, Kaido, one of the most powerful, like, people in all of One Piece, Luffy grabs him and starts, you know, flinging him around like he's some jump rope guy, and it's like, bro, oh my god. And while he's doing that, while he's playing with Kaido uses his blast breath and hits Luffy point blank in the face, and he goes down into the into the skull, and he gets shot away, pretty further away, and he's all like, blackened out by the blast breath, and he gets shot quite a further away than I thought he was. And then this is just really weird and cartoony, but in the air, Yamato says, "Oh crap, he just took the blast breath right to the head," and he's all like, blacked out. And then out of nowhere, Luffy just starts running on air really, really fast, and he sort of rockets himself to the back up to where Onigashima is, which that is just what the hell, like I don't understand this. This power up is so. This power up is wacky. Honestly, this power up is wacky. Like it's out of some type of Saturday or Sunday cartoon from like Bugs Bunny or some shit like that. Like it's honestly crazy, and only One Piece can pull this off and it be cool and not stupid or silly or something like that. It is silly, I'm not gonna lie, it is pretty silly, but like only One Piece can really pull this off. Like I don't ever see Naruto or Bleach or any other like shonen like, I don't see any other shonen doing this, where they have some silly-ass moments, and it's still looking cool. But yeah. But, then Luffy sort of rockets up to the, to where Onigashima is, and Kaido brings out his Kanabo, and he does Ragnarok, and he does a move where he's about to hit Luffy, and he hits Luffy, I think, right on the top of the head, and he goes right through Onigashima, and his eyes sort of pop out, and he's like, and it looks really cartoonish and really horrifying and really weird. And then all of the people down below see Luffy's face like that, and they all have the cartoonish eyes as well. Law, Kid, Chopper, Nami, and Otama have all of these cartoonish eyes popping out of their head, and I love that Law, someone really serious, has the cartoonish eyes as well. And then Luffy, pops his head back up to where the roof is, and he continues on the fight. And it's like, honestly, this is funny. Like, honestly, this is like the most hilarious thing of all time, and I love it. But yeah, so Luffy he retracts his head back up to the roof, and he goes out of Gear 5. Like, he actually goes out of Gear 5, and Kaido says, like, you're on your last rope, kid. Like, you're going to, like, if you keep doing this, if you keep trying to put yourself in this situation, you're going to die. And Luffy's like, I'm not afraid of dying. Do you think after all this, I would be, afraid to die? Like, and I love the old man expression that Luffy has when, like, he goes out of Gear 5. Like, he looks all cool with his flaming hair, and then it sort of like, powers down, and he's just like, it's like, and he's like a dog after a long, walk. He's just like, it's like, wow. And then we also see Kaido. He is also reeling from this as well. He is, he sort of goes down on one knee, and he has the Kanabo sort of propping him up, and he's like, ooh, I've been through the ringer. Like, honestly, like, you've put me through my paces, Luffy. Like, after this fight, I will tell about, how you struggled, how you fought me for, X amount of hours, and you put up an amazing fight, but you cannot beat me. That's what basically Kaido says. Like, he basically says, like, you cannot beat me, even if you have this new power-up, you're on your last last legs, even though I'm on my last legs as well. Even though we're both pretty beaten down, still, like, you can't beat me. Like, no one has beat me ever. And then Luffy stands up again, and he says, well, I don't care. I'm going to defeat you, whether you like it or not. And he goes back into Gear 5 after he powered down from Gear 5, and he sort of launches himself to Kaido, and Kaido brings out his Kanabo and swings at Luffy, and Yamato says, "Watch out!" And this is also a very funny part of the chapter as well, where Kaido smacks Luffy in the back of the head, and it imprints a fucking like the Kanabo, and his face looks honestly like a cartoon, and it imprints like the spikes and everything like that. Like, I wish I could show you this, because it looks so visually interesting and so visually artistic and really awesome and cool, but I'd get copyrighted. But yeah, this panel of Luffy getting the imprint of the Kanabo is just hilarious. It's hilarious and I love it. So yeah. And Yamato's like, what the fuck's going on? And Luffy's like, it hurts! And then Kaido's still trying to, beat the shit out of Luffy. He whacks Luffy on the top of the head. He gets compressed down into, a chibi sort of Luffy. And then he backflips over to a wall and jumps to where Kaido is and uses Gumma Gumma no UFO, and he's punching Kaido and everything like that, and they're both going at each other, and it looks so cool. Honestly, it looks so damn cool. And Kaido is thinking in his head, he's thinking his whole transformation turns him white, and his whole this fight has been he can fight in the most freest way of possible. It's so versatile. His fruit is off the chain. It's so he cannot comprehend what Luffy is doing. His fruit is Kaido sort of says to Luffy, your power is something out of a picture book, and it kind of is. It's like Tomb World. It's like a silly cartoony type of power that Kaido can't comprehend, and he's like, how do I even fight this power that you are displaying? I can't even comprehend what you're doing and everything like that. So yeah, so Kaido's having a really hard time with Luffy's new power up, and then Luffy, this is a pretty cool panel as well. Luffy uses one of his fists to punch Kaido right in the face, and he flattens Kaido. He basically whacks Kaido in the face, and he goes down. Kaido actually goes down, and he looks like he's actually knocked out, but I don't think he is. I think Kaido's gonna get back up. But this is the last panel of the chapter, and Luffy, sort of pounds Kaido in the face, and Kaido goes down, and he's in his hybrid form, and I never really noticed this, but Kaido, he has the tail, and he has the claws and everything like that, and he has the horns, and it looks his hybrid form is my favorite form when it comes to Kaido's different forms. His hybrid form is my favorite, and it looks really cool. And the final panel of the chapter is I'm having the time of my life, Kaido, and you see Luffy and his face, and it looks really cool. And that is basically the chapter in a nutshell. Honestly, this chapter is amazing. I really like the what Luffy does with his powers and everything like that, and what these new abilities could mean for the future, and what he could possibly do when he goes into Gear 5. I like how Oda is showing us what Luffy can do in this new form. It's not Luffy Luffy, gets this new form and one taps Kaido and he's like out of the fight. Like, I like how that's not the case here, where like, Luffy gets this new power and he one taps Kaido and he's out for the fight. Now, there's no break next week, which is so good. I am so happy that there's no break next week, but I think this, next week might be the final chapter of the fight. I don't know, maybe, I don't know, because Kaido looks like he took a really big hit from Luffy, and he looks like he's almost down for the count. Like, I think Kaido is going to get back up, and Luffy is going to use some, new move that he thought up with this new Gear 5th attack, and he's just going to take down Kaido with this new move. I think that's going to be the end of Act 3 when Luffy defeats Kaido. I think that's what's going to happen, where Luffy gains a new ability. He gains a new ability, and he gains a new attack that he thinks up right now on the spot, and then he defeats Kaido with that said attack, and then end of Act 3, and then that's it. And then Act 4 goes on, and then that's when we sort of wrap up with Act 4 of, like, Wano and everything like that. So yeah, I think that's what's going to happen here. Next chapter could be the end of Act 3, and Kaido could be defeated next chapter. But that's all speculation. That is all my theory. So take that with a grain of, like, salt. We'd have no idea how long this fight is going to go on, if it's going to finish next chapter or anything like that. I hope it finishes next chapter, because this fight has been going on for a very, very long time, and Act 3 has been going on for a very, very long time, and I kind of want, Wano to sort of wrap up and move on from Wano, because there's a lot of other things that I'd like to get to, but I've been having a blast with Wano and everything like that. So yeah, I'd give this chapter a good solid 9. Yeah, 9. A good solid 9 out of 10. And I love this chapter. The last, couple of chapters of One Piece have been on fire, and I've been loving One Piece to death. And I cannot wait for the next chapter, and no break next week. So that is really good. Anyways, this is your boy, Shonen Boy, signing out. Like and subscribe, comment down below. What was your favorite part about this chapter? Did you like this chapter? Did you dislike this chapter? And what do you think, how long do you think the fight is going to go on for? Do you think it's going to end next week, or do you think it's going to go on for a couple more chapters? Do you think we're going to get a flashback of Kaido? Do you think we're going to get, what do you think is going to happen next? Put that in the comments down below, and until next time, I'll talk to you guys later, and have an awesome day. Yo, it's me, your boy, Shonen Boy here today. I'm here today to talk about the latest chapter of One Piece. This will be my discussion video on the latest chapter, 1045. So let's get straight into this video. So, this chapter was amazing. I would give it a good solid 8.5. Yeah, 8.5 out of 10. It was just a straight up brawl chapter, with just Luffy and Kaido going at each other, and Luffy showing off his new abilities and everything like that, and showing giant Luffy and Kaido. That's the thing. Even though Luffy has transformed into this new gear, he's not one-shotting Kaido. He's not like other anime characters where they go, where they get their new power-up and they tap the main villain on the shoulder and say, "I'm 1,000 times stronger than I was before," and then one tap them, and then they're done, and that's it. Like, Luffy's not that, okay? And Kaido's not that villain, okay? They're still going at it. And, and this shot right here, where Luffy goes giant mode, where he goes giant Luffy, like, I was like, yep, Luffy can beat an admiral. Luffy can beat an admiral. I am saying this right now. Luffy is, I want to say, top 6. Like, he is almost there. Like, he's almost there. Like the top 5 strongest, like, you know, One Piece characters in all of is like Kaido, Shanks, Big Mom, and then Blackbeard. And then there's like a debate between who's number 5 and who's 6, because Luffy looks like he could be either 6 or 5, and you know, people put up there like Akainu and everything like that, and Dragon. Honestly, I don't think Dragon is that strong, honestly, because we haven't seen anything from him. Same with Shanks, we haven't seen anything from him either, but Dragon is probably the worst. He's been so hyped and so, you know, gushed over by Oda, saying he's the most wanted man and everything like that. Not the strongest, but the most wanted man. He's really powerful. He's the leader of the Revolutionary Army. He's going up against the Marines and yada yada yada. It's like he has to be really fucking strong. I'm not gonna lie. I believe that Dragon is going to be really strong, but we haven't seen anything from him. Like, people have speculated, saying he's a, he's a Logia wind type. He has the weather fruit. He has, like, you know, all these, like, crazy powers. He has, like, a second, armored haki. He has, future sight. He has all this bullshit, and we haven't seen anything from him. Everyone just speculates. Everyone just theorizes. We haven't seen anything. Luffy we've seen from. So right now, I'm putting Luffy up there. I honestly think that he is top 5. I think he's top 5 in the verse there, like just underneath the Yonko. I honestly think that, like, he might be even stronger than Blackbeard at this particular point, because we haven't seen what Blackbeard can do. We haven't seen what Blackbeard can do. I know he's the final villain of One Piece, but we haven't seen him do anything. So right now, Luffy is like where, you know, Shanks, Big Mom and Kaido are. He's up there with the big boys. He's up there with those guys, and I think Luffy can take on Admiral one-on-one and beat an Admiral. Yeah. I think Fujitora, he can beat him. Kizaru, Green Bull, like, anybody, any of the Admirals, Luffy can beat right now. Honestly, yeah. Any of the Admirals Luffy can beat, if Luffy had this power off the rip and he was going up against Kaido, he could probably go up with him one-on-one. He wouldn't be able to win. He is going to win the fight, don't get me wrong, but, like, Kaido has had a lot of fights. Like, he's fought the Scabbards, he's fought Yamato, he's fought Luffy, I think that's all of them. Yeah, I think that's all of them. Yeah, he's had like 3 or 4 major fights, and he has had to fight, you know, multiple groups. Oh yeah, and also the Supernovas, where he had to first Kid and Law and all that stuff. So yeah, he's had 4 major fights, 4 times, and, like, Luffy's come back multiple times. So Kaido's put in the work. He's put in the work to have that, you know, that title of the strongest beast. Like, when you bet on a one-on-one fight between Kaido and anyone else, always bet on Kaido, because Kaido in a one-on-one fight will always win. Like, always win. And except for if it's Luffy, because he's the main character. But, like, yeah. But honestly, yeah, Luffy can beat an Admiral right now, and this chapter just shows how much Luffy has grown in Wano, because at the start of Wano, he was, like, I want to say, he was at, like, Katakuri level, like maybe a little bit below Katakuri level, but now, right now in the he's like up there with the Yonko. Like, honestly, like, he's up there with the Yonko. Like, he has grown so much. Like, he's had, like, let's go over like what he how Luffy has grown in Wano. So he was developing his seeing into the future haki, his sensory haki, and he was developing that. Then he met Hirogoro, I think his name is. Yeah, the little guy with the blue hair, and he taught him, the Wano way of haki, and he taught him, second stage armored haki. Okay, and then Luffy trained with it for 3 days or something like that. Then he got better with, his sensory haki and his armored haki, and then he fought Kaido. Then after he got punted off the roof, then he realized that he can use Conqueror's haki and fusion, and then he started using that. Then and then this latest power-up, he now has an awakened mythical Zoan fruit, model Nika, and now he's an awakened, Devil Fruit user. He's had so many goddamn power-ups in this arc, and his power up. Honestly, his power has gone through the roof, and and it's better than the 2-year time skip. Honestly, Luffy's power up is better than the 2-year time skip in Wano, because honestly, when he came back from the 2 years, he still couldn't beat a 7 warlord. He had to have help defeating Doflamingo, and he was still lacking that power. And then when he fought Katakuri, he was still lacking that power, and he still had to learn and progress and, get more stronger and everything like that. But now, honestly, this is Luffy's peak. Sure, yeah, he can refine his, Gear 5, and he can, come up with new moves and everything like that and become stronger, but I don't think we're going to get, Gear 6 or Gear 7 or any more gears. I think that this is the final gear, and this is Luffy's apex. This is Luffy's peak of power, and I don't think we're gonna see any more different gears from him. But yeah. But honestly, when it comes to this power up, I think that this is better than Gear 4. Yeah, the reveal of Gear 4th, and even maybe Snake Man. Yeah, I think Gear 5 is better than those 2 gears. Of course it is. But yeah, with the power that Luffy has got right now, he can beat an admiral, and he is I want to say top 5, maybe top 6, because I don't know how strong Akainu is, because some people say that he's Yonko level, or he's he's just below them, or something like that. I'm pretty sure we're going to get a fight between Luffy and Akainu, and it's going to be a pretty, fair fight. And I'm pretty sure, this is me speculating, he's going to have Conqueror's haki. Yeah, I think Akainu is going to have Conqueror's haki infusion, and he's going to be an awakened low gear user, and he's going to have second armored haki, and maybe even sensory, seeing into the future, maybe, I don't know, but I think that he's going to have all 3 hakis. He's going to have Conqueror's haki infusion, second degree armored haki, and an awakened low gear. Yeah, I guarantee you he's going to have that, and Luffy's going to go up against him in maybe the next arc, maybe? I don't know. I honestly don't know where the story is going to go from here on out, because we may be going to Elbath, we might, fight the Marines, the world government, and get that over and done with, and then go on to the last, saga of One Piece, because that's what I think is going to happen. I think, I don't know if Robin is going to get captured or anything like that from CP0, because they're pretty much dead, because one of them is taken out by Izo, which is weird, and then the other one has been killed by Kaido, Blue Scarf guy, and then the other one, I don't know what he's doing. He might be just skipping town. He's like, I'm out of here. I'm done. Fuck the world government. They can kill me for all I care. I'm out of here. This is way too crazy. So yeah, I don't think Robin's going to get captured or anything like that, but I do believe Luffy is going to go after the Marines to save Sabo, and also maybe Vivi, because I think those are the ones that are captured. Maybe even Boa Hancock is captured, and Luffy has to go and save those 3 characters from the world government. Who knows? But I think when it comes to the next arc of One Piece, it's a debate between Elbath or the world government and the Revolutionary Army. I could see it being that. Honestly, I want that because that's more interesting than Elbath, because I don't know what's going to happen in Elbath. But right now, I honestly want the war against the Marines and get that over and done with before we go into like the final war, the final saga of One Piece. But yeah. But, well, this is kind of, like, after Wano, it is this final saga of One Piece, but, like, the final arc, like, Raftel or whatever. But you get my point. Like, right now in the story, Luffy is, so powerful, and I think he can take down an admiral right now, and I would love to see him fight Akainu, and I would also like him to even fight Shanks or even Big Mom in this state. I honestly want to see Luffy versus Big Mom now, because I think that fight would go very differently than it did in Whole Cake, because I think Luffy maybe be able to defeat Big Mom, maybe. But it'll be a pretty hardy fight. Like it won't be like Luffy one shots or anything like that with this new gear. No, Big Mom would put up a decent fight, but I think Luffy would defeat Big Mom right now 1-on-1 with this new power up, and he's up there with the Yonko and everything like that. And and this chapter is like, honestly. Right now, I think that this fight will probably be over in the next chapter. Yeah, I think this fight will be over in the next chapter, because at the very end, at the very end of the at the very end of this chapter, Luffy, says, "I'm having the time of my life, Kaido. This is fun." And he punches Kaido so hard that his fist goes straight through his face and pops out the other side. Like, I think he turns his face into rubber. Yeah, and he flattens Kaido and he puts him on his ass, like puts him on his back, and Kaido looks like he really, like, that was a really big punch. I don't know if I think Kaido's obviously gonna get back up, obviously, but I don't think Kaido is going to last for very much longer. I think the fight is going to end very soon. Probably next chapter, Luffy is probably going to do some new attack, who knows, and then finish off Kaido, and that's the end of Act 3. Yeah, like I said in the review, I think when it comes to Luffy defeating Kaido, I think Luffy's going to do some new attack with his new Zoan ability naming sort of scheme, like no Gumma Gumma no, just like his new power up or something like that, or he's going to do some new attack or something like that, and he's going to defeat Kaido. And then at the next week it's going to be like end of Act 3, Kaido is defeated, Luffy is the winner, and it'll be like a little title card, and it says Luffy is the winner, and then it goes on to Act 4, and that's where we wrap up Wano and get off Onigashima, put Onigashima down on the ground so it doesn't go on the Flower Capital and everything like that, and then that's it. The only way I could see this going on for longer, if Kaido like stands up and says, "Oh, since you're an awakened, Zoan user, or an awakened, Delphi user, I will, say, I will now awaken my true power," and he goes into his true, awakening, and we get to see Kaido's awakening, because I don't think we've ever seen Kaido, being confirmed that he's awakened, but I'm pretty sure he is awakened, to his, dragon powers, but, we haven't seen seen it yet, and this is the only way I see the fight going on for longer, but I honestly don't want it to, because I feel like we need to wrap up this whole, fight in Wano and get on with things, honestly, because this has been going on for ages, and I'm starting to be like, okay, Oda, Wano has been great, I've been loving it, but like, we need to start wrapping this shit up, because we've been on Wano for like forever, and we need to wrap this up. So yeah, so honestly, when it comes to the fight, I feel like it's going to end next chapter. The only way it's going to keep going is if Kaido awakens, and then they start fighting again, and then we have to wait a week. Because I think next chapter is the last chapter before Oda goes on another break, and then after that, we will have the next chapter. So yeah. So honestly, when it comes to this fight, I hope it ends next chapter. I hope, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah. But that is basically all I have to say about my thoughts about the chapter. Luffy can be an admiral right now with the power he's got, and he's up there with the Yonko. He's about top 6 or top 5, honestly. And this panel of Luffy giant form, this is my favorite panel of all of One Piece. Yeah, I think this is my favorite panel of all of One Piece. Maybe because it's hype and it's right, and I'm seeing it right now. But honestly, this is my favorite panel throughout all of One Piece. Honestly, and this chapter is not as good as last week's chapter. Last week's chapter was like a 10 out of 10. This is like a 8.5 or a 9, honestly. And it's a good chapter, don't get me wrong. It is just a straight up fight, and it's really good. And I love the whole Looney Tunes and the whole artistic way that Oda draws Luffy and everything like that, and the fight the choreography and everything like that, and just everything has been drawn really well. Oda has been off the chain lately. His drawings have been so good, and also his these last, I want to say 5 chapters have been fire. Like the last 5 chapters have been so good that honestly it's been one hell of a ride to see what's going to happen next week, and the week after, and the week after, and I'm always just glued to the screen, just waiting for the next chapter of One Piece. And honestly, this has been like the best time to be alive right now. So yeah, so honestly, this chapter has been great, and I love it. And yeah, that is basically all I have to say about the chapter. I hope the fight ends next chapter, and I am really excited for the next One Piece chapter, chapter 1046. Yeah, I think that's going to be the end of the fight, and also end of Act 3. Yeah, so yeah. But that is my discussion video about the chapter. What did you think? This is your boy, Shonen Boy, signing out. Like and subscribe. Comment down below. What did you think about this chapter? Did you love this chapter? Did you think it was the best chapter of all time? Or did you not like this chapter? Do you think it could have been better? Would you have changed some things? And do you think Luffy can be an admiral? Where do you rank Luffy in power scaling? Is he top 6 or is he top 5? Or do you think people are still stronger than Luffy? Do you think he can beat an admiral? Do you think he's up there with the Yonko? Whatever you think, put that in the comments down below. And until next time, I'll talk to you guys later, and have an awesome day.